Hello.
Hi, happy Friday.
Yes, how are you feeling?
We're glad it's Friday. Doing
Um,
good.
yeah, I know, me too.
The growing side of a full moon lunar eclipse.
Yeah, so I'm really excited and just eager to know what this moon is bringing us because it's been a very interesting week
Yeah,
prior to the lunar eclipse. So before you get deep into it, I would like to ring the meditation singing bowl
sounds
to clear our space and energy, and then we can get started.
sounds good.
Okay. All right.
It's
So
so nice.
I know. So thank you. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Tell us about what this eclipse is all about.
It's interesting. So it is Libra lunar eclipse, March 25th. So that's on Monday. But of course, we're already feeling it. And being a full moon and eclipse intensifies the full moon. Eclipses traditionally are defined as triggers. So I believe it's at 7 degrees, 5 degrees. So 5 degrees Libra or Aries in your chart, it would be triggering whatever those representations are for you. There's a couple of different debates in the astrological community about eclipses. Um, One of my prior teachers would say, unless it's like within 1 or 2 degrees of a placement, you're unaffected. Um, then there's a body of thought that it's like a room full of a room full of rocking chairs with cats. So
Mm,
it's kind of hard to avoid. There will be feeling about it. It is the Libra Aries axis, which Libra Aries is Libra, it's opposites. So where Libra is the peacemaker and wants beauty, it's ruled by Venus. It's a very fuzzy, you know, lovely, artistic kind of energy. And Aries is Mars. It's the fire hothead. So you have those two dynamics of the peacemaker and the warrior.
mm,
So Libra represents relationships. It represents the seventh house in the natural zodiac wheel. And one thing I've always thought was interesting is the seventh house represents marriage, partnerships, and open enemies. So there's that old adage about, you keep your friends closer and your enemy close and your enemies closer.
mm-hmm.
Um, so that's kind of another contradiction in this old world. And then in ancient times, eclipses were huge omens. They were how countries decided to go to war, how people decided to get married or um, plant their crops. So major life decisions were made centered around eclipse energy. And I think we've been seeing another part of Libra that gets overlooked a lot is it is the law and the legal community. So seeing more activity with lawsuits, um, anything, judges, that kind of energy is around this eclipse. You might see, high up people in your locality, whether it's like a sheriff or a well known judge. It doesn't have to be on a national level, but even smaller communities, could have disruption in their political dynamic where um, we've been we've been dealing with a lot of this Pisces Neptunian energy for quite a while, which makes things very hard to see the reality of in the three-dimensional. So I have to tell you this weird dream I had last night. I don't know why this just popped in my head, but when you remember a dream, it's kind of funny. And this one is really funny. So we're going to have a little ha ha. So
Okay.
I had this dream that I was in an office situation, and one of the girls I knew, one I didn't, and my dogs were there in the office, and we were kind of like chasing after my dogs, and there was a lot of chaos, and we were supposed to be going to lunch, and the next thing in the dream, it doesn't feel like I'm in a car, but it doesn't feel like I'm walking, but I'm moving down a road. And on the side of the road, when you've seen those commercials where they take like a raw chicken roaster, and they make him dance. They make the chicken dance, like you hold them up by the wings and you
Oh
can.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So the road was lined with raw dancing chicken roasters. Now, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It's
So.
and they were the marketing, because I was thinking in my head, I was like, what a clever way to get people to your store. They were
Mhm.
leading to this eccentric little thrift store, right?
Mhm.
Which anybody that knows me knows I love putzing around in junk stores and trinket stores. And it was just so funny because the next thing I know, I'm like in front of this sort of consignment store and looking at jewelry and everything. But there was a video short of Cano Reeves in his sweatpants in the kitchen, and it was like going between one of these dancing chickens and him, and the caption was "Who dances better?"
Oh.
That was my dream. Okay, it was very weird, and I'm sure it was part of my subconscious processing what I was, what I had been seeing and doing. But I wrote to the girl who was in the dream, who I do know, and I told her about it. And she said, "That's just hilarious. It's just hilarious." And I made a comment about the subconscious mind can be a very dark thing.
Mhm.
And, and but what could be bad about Cano Reeves in his sweatpants in the kitchen? I mean, not much bad about that. So it was just, my point is that a lot of Neptune aspects and energy can really trigger bizarre subconscious activity. And whether you remember dreams or not, rest assured, I believe everyone is traveling outer body and have processing a lot of this three-dimensional stuff they see as they sleep. So,
I know that I had a bunch of dreams this morning. Like I woke up, but I went back to sleep for like maybe an hour, hour and a half. But in that hour, I dreamt a lot.
yeah,
But I don't really remember what those dreams were from the thing that I had today. But I do remember recently that there was this I guess he had a handicap on his face. He had like one regular eye and one like deformed whatever eye going on. He had a very wide nose that kind of like matched up to the width of his lips. But anyways, this guy was so happy to announce that he has a girlfriend. And I was like, "Oh, well, congratulations." And because I was like, "Wow, even someone who is not perfect in a physical form has found love." And I thought that it was like a really neat thing. And in my dream, it felt like I knew this guy, like he was like a good friend of mine. And
right.
I was like, "I don't even know this guy. Like, who is he?" Like, resembling and stuff. And
Well, a lot of the ancient uh, Plato and philosophers all have themes of love is not seen with the eyes, right? It's seen with the heart. So,
mm,
and I think that's a lot of the spiritual journey we're on. And it's certainly with the Libra eclipse, it's going to bring focus to your relationships. And whether you have a relationship or not, it could simply mean the relationship you have with yourself, you know, any issues of worthiness or low self esteem, all of that could be activated under an eclipse.
well, that
Also,
would make sense, right? Because physically he wasn't perfect. Like, he had like deformity of some sort and wasn't normal. And he was just really happy to find love, and I was happy for him. And we were all hanging out and having a good old time. Like, it was just so weird.
part of that too is, Venus ruling Libra. Venus was the goddess of beauty and love. So
Mm,
there's been a lot of emphasis in humankind for thousands of years on beauty.
mm-hmm,
So, I think as we get more and more into Aquarius, that somewhat superficial value system does get turned on its head because, I think people do learn eventually that you really can't go on someone like how they look, I mean, um, there's so much more than that. And it gets down into when it comes to relationships, what is it you want from a relationship, Um, and behind that, on a deeper level, what's your motivation for what you think you want? So, this brings in a lot of information about your patterns in relationships, your desires. Um, I think one of the consistent things that I've seen uh, for many years is, um, and it might even, I don't want to offend anybody about the twin flame journey because that's what brought us all here at some point. But I see it a lot in that feeling so convinced that someone is meant for you and it doesn't manifest. And so, what I do know is that when you manifest from a genuine place, then the universe provides.
mm-hmm,
When you're trying to force something, like a square peg in a round hole, it's not going to work. And people will spend tons of money and go to every psychic and astrologer and tarot reader and palm reader searching for the answers they want to hear. And then, if they get information that doesn't align with what they think they want, whether it's true or not, it's again this sort of trying to force something that isn't um, genuine. And I think the element of manifestation is being genuine. When you genuinely feel something, that's all you need, and it will come. And when things are blocked, there's usually, some deep garbage to process out. But anyway, I digress. I wanted to, so Venus rules Libra, and Venus is holding hands with Saturn during this eclipse. So, Venus Saturn is all about setting your boundaries in relationships. Saturn can be very restrictive. You might not even on a conscious mind recognize that there is a boundary that needs to be set. And a eclipse in Libra will teach compassion, like you can love someone from a distance. And it can be difficult situations with that. So I think it's a good opportunity to try and apply, you know, lessons you've learned from prior relationships. You may even have people from a long time ago resurface, because we're slowing down here. By this time next week, Mercury will station retrograde. Sometimes Mercury retrograde will bring people from the past back. It definitely slows the energy. It definitely can create confusion and mixed signals. Um, so you've got this whole dynamic of an eclipse as a trigger, Saturn trying to be restrictive, Venus trying to, bring compassion and love to a situation. And then the thing about Saturn setting healthy boundaries is you're actually assisting a soul when you make them carry their own load, make them take ownership for their behavior. And that whole people pleasing thing under this energy isn't going to work. People pleasers will be very frustrated by all of this, because you're not going to make everybody happy with, um, we've got Jupiter, Uranus getting closer and closer to be conjunct in a couple of weeks. You've got the Libra Aries axis, which is volatile. Um, you've got Venus holding hands with Saturn. Neptune is within a few degrees of the sun. And then Pluto is squaring the sun. Pluto square the sun is about the stress you put on yourself. It's about the, what is on here? Is there something? Is that the screen? Oh, it's over here. There we go. You see, I got your blankie on. This thing
Mhm.
is getting good wear. Let me tell you, it's got dog where dogs have pulled the.
Yeah, I get that.
But anyway, it's turned cold here again, and so I'm just everything's cold. My hands and my nose. So
Mhm.
anyway, I digress. Pluto's squaring the sun. Um, we're not exactly there, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Uh, that is remembering that when you're feeling stressed out, you know, and full moons can stress people out all by themselves. So an eclipse full moon, adds some punch to that. So when you're feeling stressed out, to try and really be still for a few minutes to get to the root of what's triggering you, what is that emotion? Because Pluto square the sun is about what we do to ourselves. It's not like a karmic third party situation putting stress on us, or other people like at work putting stress on you, or in a relationship. It's us processing how we're perceiving what people are saying and doing. And so because we can control what we do to ourselves, that's great, because it's not like it's out of your control, and everybody has a different way to decompress. So it might be taking a walk, it might be, writing, it might be sleeping more than usual, it might be, having just a friendly long chat with a friend, or So everyone kind of decompresses differently, and this is definitely going to be a time to practice those exercises that make you feel more relaxed. Um, Watching, caffeine and sugar and the things that can naturally make your nervous system more keyed up, you know, as we get more and more into the spring between the Jupiter Uranus conjunction and the solar eclipse coming up in April, that is a lot of pressure in the atmosphere. And our bodies, our electromagnetic energy around our bodies are responding to these vibrations. And you're going to see road rage and, people really getting upset, you know. You might see more incidences with guns. Mars is about guns and violence. So I don't say that to scare anyone, other than to just say, be mindful of, your vibration feeding into some, I hate designating like lower vibe, higher vibe, but that's basically what it is, if you're around people who are always negative and always judging and always, creating drama, that brings your vibration down. And that might mean um, distancing yourself from people who are not um, trying to keep in a higher state of mind and being more the watcher, as opposed to being in the middle of something. And that's part of the spiritual journey, isn't it? Is
Mhm.
learning to be more mindful of our own energy. And if someone around us is bringing us, I call it bad juju, I guess, you know, one of the hardest things is when it's family and related, you know.
Mhm. No,
Um,
I was gonna bring up the situation where you talked about the mirror. Remember you brought that up in our little chat?
yeah, that was the
Silence, what was it? The
Silence
Lamb?
of the Lamb was the movie, The Silence of the Lambs, and it was Anthony Hopkins as the serial killer um, cannibal named Hannibal
Oh,
Lecter.
okay.
He was a doctor, a psychiatrist, and the FBI agent Clarice, who was his, like, I don't know, muse or some kind of, they had some kind of weird relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And he was known to get into people's minds, to try to get in their head and twist them all around. And her boss had told her, "No, don't let him in your head." And so, sure enough, their first meeting or second meeting, he comes into this brutal analysis of her, pretty much attacking her background, how she's dressed, how her mom and dad brought her up, and that, she just wanted to be in the FBI.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember that? And so, she takes this hit, this judgment and this hit from somebody, and she comes back with, and Dr. Lecter, can you turn that mirror of self analysis on you and what you, la 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 la, So that is a good analysis for this mixture of energy is, um, you know, this is all about relationships, all kinds,
Mm-hmm.
romantic, professional, family, doesn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
strangers on the street. Um, this full moon eclipse in Libra brings all the focus to relationships. How are you in relationships? If you're triggered by something, that's what that scene reminds me of, is look in the mirror and have an honest analysis with yourself about what is it, getting really down to the root. And it could be some bizarre old memory from childhood that you'd think wouldn't have anything to do with anything, but whatever we do to protect ourselves from being hurt again, it's layers and layers of very complex patterns. And so, because of that, this could be some, what I was saying is family relationships. And one of the hardest things to do is let go of unhealthy family relationships. If you have, um, she wasn't blood related to me, but it's just an example of she was my old college roommate, and I never had sisters. So she was very much like a big sister to me. She was older, and I learned a lot from her, cooking, antiques, fashion, and I looked up to her a lot. And my father made an observation. I guess it had been 20 years of, we don't live in the same town, but we would meet like on a Sunday and spend the day and lunch and shop, and I'd come home.
Mm.
My father, at one point, and this was when he was pretty much convalescent, bedridden on oxygen, he would say, every time you come back from a day with her, you're depressed for 2 or 3 days. And I would be like, oh no, we're good buddies. We have a good time, and I didn't want to admit that, because she represented like a long time relationship that at one time had been very special. And that's
Mhm.
what's so hard to let go of different things is you might have, someone that you were very close to growing up or something, but as adults, it's a different dynamic. And so there's nothing wrong with, Saturn asks us to honor ourselves and our energy and self love, to set boundaries with people who only want to, you know, bring you down or use you or take advantage of you. And so he died, my father died, and there was a time when I went and had one of our days, and I came back. And it was a couple of days, and I had this like epiphany. I was like, shit, my dad was right. I get around her for a day, and I would really try to analyze what was it, because there was a time when and I still do feel a certain compassion for her because, I mean, her life story, it's amazing she's still alive, really, for everything she's been through. So there's again that sort of love them from a distance. Like, you don't have to be all up in somebody's life to prove anything or be something to them. If they bring your vibration down or they make you feel bad about yourself, you owe it to yourself to set a boundary and say, no, thank you. And so that's what I think is going to be happening a lot with this energy, is those epiphanies of, wow, we used to be really close, and you might not even like them anymore or something, just something that it's kind of hard to admit, and it's definitely harder to act upon, but it does shift a dynamic. Um, I think we've all had plenty of friends who had really messed up mother or father, whether it was through alcoholism or some kind of psychosis of some sort. So those relationships of, setting boundaries with, a parent or a sibling, when we're brought up, to believe family is everything. You do anything to keep family together, and that's all that's important. Well, it's not if you're abused emotionally. It doesn't have to be physical abuse, right? So, you might see more of that kind of domestic kind of attention on domestic abuse, or in the news type stories about um, like here you'll see um, foundations that are set up for to give men and women a place to go and get out from under a domestic situation. And one of the things that I've started to notice is it's not just women being abused. You're seeing more information about men who are abused. And so that's an interesting shift, I think, because no one ever assumes that a woman is crazy and beats the hell out of her husband or something. So, I mean, so society has always assumed it's the man, you
Now,
know.
there's some crazy women
There
out there
are,
that'll beat on their man, okay? Like, ah.
so seeing that sort of shift in the dynamic.
Mhm,
Um, the Sun and Mercury are now in Aries, which makes that again compulsive, Arian kind of argumentative energy.
mhm,
And the Sun is the ego. So a lot of those arguments or epiphanies can come out of the ego, or I think one of the cliche spiritual community statements is, an ego death. So that's very much of an ego death kind of energy. And, as we get further into Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius and humanitarianism, that is all about um, humility, right? And so when there's an ego death, there's a lesson in humility. And humility is very important to embrace in our life, you know. And we're not all there is all the time, always right. And I think you and I were talking about both having situations this week with people who just think they know it all,
mhm.
and that's another one of those, you're never going to win that battle. I've gotten, so if somebody's like that, I was like, okay, you know it all. Great.
Mhm,
Aren't you lucky? I'm still learning.
mhm,
To be able to, you know, be very authentic about what you do or do not know, or feel. This is a very feely, touchy energy, touchy feely. And so Pluto, it will be trining the moon. So it's coming into a square of the sun within a few weeks, but during this eclipse, it's making a trine to the moon. And those are very positive aspects. So that the harshness of the Libra Aries axis and Saturn Venus conjunct Sun Mercury in Aries, that trine to the moon gives you a release valve. So it really just depends on where it falls in your chart as to how it will affect you personally on a more broad interpretation. You could think back to what was going on for you a few months ago in October. It's similar to the eclipse that we had in October.
mhm.
And honestly, I just feel like we are in this vacuum leading up to a whirlwind of combinations and signatures in the stars for April. And
Well, that's the thing, I wanna know what in the heck is going on in April, because whatever this energy is, it's, very trying energy in my opinion.
it is.
Um,
So April 20th is Jupiter at the same degree as Uranus. That is something we've not felt in I think it's like over 100 years. I mean, none of us living, unless you're over 100, have ever felt that energy before. And when you think about, Jupiter is freedom, independence. I want to get to the truth. It's the largest planet in the solar system. Uranus is electricity. It's unconventional. It's revolution. Bam, right? So you have similar energies of Revolutionary War. It was the same energy back in like the 1780s when France claimed its independence as a republic. So you're going to see on a global scale countries wanting their freedom and independence. That is a main theme. And the fallout from that can mean people clashing on their political soapboxes. You've got the age old, debates and arguments between politicians. Um, uh, so I see a comment here. There is recent talk about World War III. Any thoughts on that? So I think we are in it. I think it's a technological war, and I think it involves um, other species or off planet type of extraterrestrials. So,
To me, I think it's freaking robotics
yeah,
or
technology. Yeah,
AI technology.
it's a war of technology and electronics involving space. You know, uh, Uranus is about space and other UFOs type of energy.
Mm.
Um, so I think we're already in a war. It's just not typically how we've seen in history, where boots on the ground shooting guns. I think it's more of vibrational. Like there's the whole debate about chem shields and whether chem trails and whether they are positive or negative. And
Oh yeah, I saw that.
here's the other thing, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, then I'll just mention.
Mm.
So all of the energy we've had with Neptune is all about illusion, right? So everything that you see on the tell lie vision should be questioned. We should not be believing anything that mainstream media is feeding us.
Mm.
Question everything because of the AI, because I mean they've done research where some of the photographs that they splash on TV are actually from, a bomb 10 years ago or something. They're not even relevant to current day. So it's
I
a
was about
very,
to say, are you talking about Kate Middleton? Or that was
oh, wow. I
yeah.
just saw a few minutes ago they're saying she has cancer and under chemo.
Mm, I don't know about that.
So, I listen to some kind of offbeat, unconventional people from time to time. And when she first disappeared, like to get this abdominal surgery or whatever they were talking about, um, and Charles at the same time checking into a hospital, there's some kind of scandal there. Now, I'm not going to say I believe what I heard, but what I heard is that you're going to, this blew my mind, that Kate and Charles had an affair, that that's going to come out. Now, that seems totally bizarro. And
Kate and Charles.
yeah,
What?
I know, I know. I mean, I'm not saying I believe it, but I guess my whole point is we're in an energy where I think the things that we think we know are going to shock the hell out of us and not be true. Jupiter, Uranus are big shocks, big epiphanies. It could be physically as the earth, as a living planet, the earthquakes, the volcanoes, the flooding, the fires. So a lot of change and shifting, not only on the subconscious of mankind, but physically on Mother Earth. And one might connect that either we're responding to the vibration from Mother Earth or our vibrations are affecting. So, does the
Mm.
chicken or the egg come first? Again, philosophers debate on that. And so, I'm really glad you brought that up, Ruta, because I thought of it earlier, and I think it's a really good message to just say, question everything. Do not take at surface value anything that you are witnessing or seeing. And when it comes to, your day to day life, you know, to take a step back from making decisions or having a reaction. Like, for some reason in my mind's eye, I'm seeing like you get a letter or a piece of mail, and your first reaction is to, get really angry, or that Aryan kind of compulsive behavior. But if you just take a breath and take a moment and really look at what it, look at what it's saying, then it's not something that you can't overcome or that you haven't overcome many times. It's just this is kind of a volatile energy, I guess is a good word for it. People
Mm.
can be kind of touchy, pipe
Mm.
off a little bit. I think you're right, JK, and welcome. I meant to say hello to you earlier when you came in. There are many truths about to be revealed. I think you're exactly right. And they're going to be stuff about people that's going to be very challenging to process. You know, all of the stuff about actors wearing masks and not who they think, you know, they're not who we think they are. And the AI piece, how they've come so far with lifelike robots and CGI, and you know you can already catch some of it with some of the news stories I saw. You can see so much of it where they're in front of a green screen and it's not really the setting that they say that it is. But I
Mm.
saw this clip, and it was like a newscaster sitting at his desk talking to what seemed to be the woman newscaster out in the field, right? She's out somewhere in front of a building reporting, and the wind is blowing. And, you know, and the next thing you know, she like ends her story, and the camera guy didn't turn his camera off because here comes this guy and picks up this computerized robot who looked like a woman commentator, picks her up and moves her off. And she
Was
was
this a
really,
live broadcast?
it was a clip. I mean, when I saw it, it was not live, but I think it
Okay.
was, I think when it
Like an
was first on,
aftermath, like.
it was presented as if it was live, right?
Mm.
But she wasn't even a whole body. It was just like from the waist up. And she was like mounted on some kind of board. And this guy just picks her up. And she looked like a real
Real?
person and had been talking on a microphone and everything. So I guess, one of the things that we are all learning is, I know you're going to hate me for this word, but patience. Because the energy is naturally electrical. And I mean that like more so than just how we've all been around it. I mean, it's definitely intensified. It's growing in intensity. This eclipse, I think, is the beginning of it, to only snowball. And actually, if you want to be pretty technical, It was 2019 in December with the Pluto Saturn conjunction that really has triggered a shift in our communities and our lives. And we've all been trying to find our footing and adjust to what everybody calls the new
Oh.
way. Yeah. And
Mhm.
so truth is big under Jupiter and Uranus. It's almost like a soap opera. You know how, we've all had the mothers and grandmothers that lived for their daytime shows when they used to be on. I know all the old timey ones have long since gone, but it's like we're living in a soap opera because there's so much drama going on between um, communities devastated by natural disaster. Um, of course, politics are always dramatized, and different countries going through like their president stepping down, or uh, we've been through a rash of presidents of big corporations stepping down or retiring. That's all very weird, right? To have all of these people in power all of a sudden retiring, or all of a sudden, they have to leave to spend time with their family, or, I just wouldn't believe anything that we hear or see. And that's where this energy is the opportunity to really get quiet with yourself and listen to that quiet, still voice, that's your intuition. And a lot of times, that first voice you get, you really don't want to believe what it is. You really don't want to take that intuitive leap. But we've all experienced when you ignore your first voice, you go into a path that's got drama in it or something else to deal with. And sometimes just listening to your first voice and your intuition, it might sting at first, but then, you're sort of catapulted into a much more positive uh, direction.
Hmm.
So, another example would be, because you're seeing a lot of shifting and changing with the job market, like what companies are laying off, what companies are in a growth mode and offering positions. So all of that is shifting, like how people work. So, you know, I hope anyone out there that is experiencing unemployment or underemployment, have certainly been there. You've been there. It's not a great place to be. Our prayers are with you. And um, to get through that, just being open to maybe going in directions that you didn't think you would. You might apply to stuff that you're really not interested in, but it's almost a numbers thing where you have to keep putting out the energy that you're making an effort. You can't sit and do nothing and expect something.
Yeah. The
Energy.
thing that I've noticed is that when you are actively like looking, you really have to feel it. You really have to read it. You can't just skim through it and say, "Oh yeah, okay, let's just fill it out and
Yeah.
boop." Like
Where,
um
where I was going with that is practicing that first voice. Like, you might see something, you might meet someone, and your first voice tells you one thing or the other, and it's not what you want to hear. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. Um, say you see an ad in the paper or online, and your first voice says, you should go for that.
hmm,
It's something out of your comfort zone. It's something out of your box, so to speak. It's a little unconventional, Uranus, right?
hmm,
Um, but that first initial feeling was warm. It was good. It was like, Yeah, something in you sparked. And so, even though it might be different or something you haven't done in of like kind before, these are the times when you go in those directions. I guess a classic explanation would be how people date online, and they go by how somebody looks, and they don't. That's what we were talking about a little while ago about love is not seen with the eyes, it's seen with the heart. And I've known so many people that'll be like, you know, he's just not my type, he's just not what I'm used to going out with. Well, how has it worked out for how you're used to going out with? Maybe going in that direction that someone that, doesn't have that zing all at once might be a healthier way to go. It might be out of your box, but lead you into something very important, but we will shut it down. We do a lot to ourselves. Saturn square that sun is all about how we can sabotage ourselves, um, whether it's through old gunk, old childhood gunk patterns, or um, hard-headedness. We can be stubborn about what we think we need or what we think we know. And this energy is all about Jupiter wants you to have an open mind, to think with a higher mind, and to just seek the truth. And that truth might not always be what you were hoping or needing it to be. So, um, so, um, I had made some notes about the Jupiter Uranus conjunction. Um, Big leap, new horizons, trailblazers, many possibilities, you know, visions moving forward, revolution, no boundaries, all of this stuff about the United States, about borders. That's very Jupiter Uranus. And feeling restless. You have to make a little extra effort to get grounded and feel meditative because the energy is like having the attention span of a gnat. You know,
Hmm.
so
I've noticed that I need to meditate longer these days. Like
yeah,
the 5-minute meditation
time.
is not enough. Like I need like 20 to 30 minutes to really get like a good sense of grounding. At least in my experience
Yeah,
recently.
I try to just find that place where you are not shaken too far one way or the other. You
I
know,
think it's like I have like a lot of things that's going on
yeah,
and yeah,
it,
and I'm just trying to hurry up and get through it for the sake of like, okay, this is what I do. But I know better that I need to really take the proper time to do the meditation, not just going through the motions, you know.
well, and you probably just summed up in a few words what the Libra lunar eclipse is about. It is a lot going on and feeling in a hurry and rushed and needing to take that step back. So, we know these things, and now, we need to make ourselves disciplined Saturn to
Mhm.
do what we know we need to do. And my thing, we're getting into the time of clearing off last year's garden beds, right? It's still been a little cold, but you know, it's really time to kind of start getting things ready to plant in a month or so. And for the life of me, I can't get the focus. It's just, I don't
Mhm.
know. I keep putting it off and putting it
Yeah.
off. And
I have that same issue with work related stuff. It's like, okay, I should be working. It's been 2 weeks. I'm
yeah,
like, you
I
know.
know. Well, and I do think time is going faster.
Hmm. Like
they,
the time change is when it all happened.
oh yeah,
After that, like I felt like I need more sleep.
oh,
I need to catch up.
I hate the way they do that. I wish they would just keep it one way.
Me
Just keep
too.
it one way. Our body clocks get so jacked up. And there's a conspiracy theory out there that some greater poobah elite secret society of a group started doing that purposely to jack up people's body clocks, and it does. It's like the more we can be in the natural rhythms with the universe and the ebbs and flows of seasons and time, the more calm we can get. But if they are constantly shifting that, what is it, like every 6 months, you
Hmm.
know, about the time you're in the flow, well, you
Time
got
to change.
it's like a gear, you got to, yeah. And I know there are some states in the United States that do not change their clocks. And
Yeah, I think Arizona is one of them.
well, in Virginia, they've talked about for a couple of years that they weren't going to do it, but it doesn't get passed. So, you know, you can look at every opportunity as, oh no, or oh shit. Or you can look at it as, oh, good, I'll get to practice being better at that, or practice, my thing, spiritually or whatever, is always been about practicing detachment. And it doesn't mean that I'm aloof or don't care. I'm deeply caring, but it also can, you know, affect your health if you take on too much other people's stuff. So to be detached and love from a distance has been the combination that I've had to work on in my life. And um, I think I had caught everybody up on my neighbor. They know that he died and that she took a fall 3 weeks ago and is not doing well. And I go to see her. She's in a nursing home. She cracked a bunch of bones. And it is so hard to get that gumption up to walk into a nursing home where all of these elderly people are just, at this point in their life, in their 80s and 90s, they're happy to be able to eat something, and most of them in wheelchairs, and it's just a very, very difficult thing. And I sit in my car a few minutes before I walk in, and I just think about surrounding myself with a protective light, because I don't want to go in there and come out feeling depressed, because there's a lot of depression amongst the elderly. I
Mm.
walk in there and I think about what could I do as a business that would really affect in a positive way how we take care of our elderly. And it's such a massive problem. It's just a massive problem.
Well, I think it's like companionship,
Hmm.
you know.
Well, my neighbor, she keeps talking about she just feels abandoned. She's 87 years old, and she's had a very good life, a lot of travel. Her and her husband were married like 66 years. They'd known each other since they were 5 years old, and they had kids and grandkids, and they were always doing something. And it's as if the universe has smacked her against a brick wall. Her her husband died. She's injured. And at that age, with those injuries, they basically want you to lay around and do nothing to see if those fractures are going to knit themselves together before they give you too much exercise. So it's really so hard to watch, and that's all. When I go there, she's like, I just feel abandoned. And the thing that I think about, when they say you get elderly like that, you kind of revert back to a child.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so a lot of our adult relationships are directly related to a feeling of abandonment as a child. And so then, you get old and you feel abandoned. So it's again the circle of life, and that is Pluto, the life,
Mhm.
death, life cycle in all things. And so we all have a lot to learn and be grateful for on the simpler things, and like our health, our boundaries, our intellect, keeping our own minds. Um, I know I've said this before. I apologize if you've already heard it, but they did this study of these nuns that were all living to be 100 years old and older, and completely, you know, lucid. There's no Alzheimer's and no dementia. And they studied them to try and find out, what is it about dementia? And what came out of the study is that they were always making themselves learn something new. And at the time of the study, they um, were learning how to play the harp. And evidently, the harp is a really difficult instrument to take up. I've I've dabbled. That's on my list. It's like at some point I want to take up the harp because anything that keeps your mind growing, learning, um, curiosity. I mean, those are the things that keep the synapses in our brain cells. That electrical. That's another part of Uranus. The electrical firings between our brain cells. And so this is an energy for inventors. You might invent something. Um, but that I think that's very important to keep in mind that you're always learning something new. You're always growing and learning something new. So I don't know. I keep seeing that ad for Babbel, that software that teaches you a foreign language.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was like, I need to do that. You can do that while you're driving down the car on your phone. Some of these things don't take being somewhere or costing money or doing anything. You can do it while you can multitask while you're driving and learn another language. So
I
that
would
was,
say if you have like the capacity to learn,
mm-hmm, right.
because like for me, coming from a multicultural family, I still don't know the native language fluently of both my mother and my father.
Yeah,
So it's been very difficult. Like I can understand what they're saying, but I can't communicate
fluent conversation.
right at all.
Yeah.
Just like basic words.
Let- Maybe that'll be on your bucket list to learn that language or something.
I
I
don't know
just
if I
think that
want to. I might use it and
when I was growing up, I took French, and I've just always loved things French: art, decor, the language, the food, art primarily. But I don't remember a lot of it. And I was in this antique store a few months ago, and they had this old French American dictionary. I forget how much it was. It wasn't terribly expensive, but I've like been getting rid of books. I don't need to be bringing in books.
Mhm.
And I put it back, and I was there. I've actually been taking some stuff there to sell, and I had taken some more stuff there. It was maybe 2 weeks later, and I went back to the shelf. I was like, maybe I will get it because I keep thinking about it,
Mm.
and couldn't find it. And then I guess it was about a month after that, I took some more stuff there. And I said to the lady, I said, have you found that French American book yet? You can't tell me somebody bought that. It's sitting around here somewhere. She's like, as soon as I find it, I'm going to let you know. And so, yes, JK brings up a good point about keeping your mind um, going, and that's creativity,
Hmm.
doing creative things.
Sometimes I do so many creative things, I forgot how I even got to that point. Like those bracelets I used to make, and I think you purchased one of them.
I have three.
Oh, well, you know what? I can't remember how to make them.
Oh, that's no. That just
Yeah,
that means you're too busy.
I can't remember. I mean, like once I like look at it, then maybe I'll get it like again. But
Yeah.
I can't remember how I made those.
Well, my neighbor in the nursing home, I've been trying to think of things that she could do. She's bored. And I asked her the other day, I was like, did you ever knit? Because I never really have. I used to do crewel embroidery and needlepoint, but I never took up knitting.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I had a friend who she knit sweaters and all kinds of elaborate things. And so I thought maybe, maybe get her to do something she used to do, again, to work the mind, to just stimulate the mind. And she did used to knit a lot. She's like, I don't think I could remember. But a lot of times when I'm visiting her, I'll put a video on the phone, like we were watching bread baking, because I remember her as always being, she made bread every day, and it was the
No,
best bread.
that
And
sounds
so,
good.
yeah, I mean, she would bring over these hot loaves of bread right out of the oven. It was just divine. And so she enjoys watching, there's these YouTube channels where they're just women like, just down to earth women in their kitchen, nothing fancy, showing you how they do their bread. Um, I like what JK is saying. Let's see, making an experience creative, especially when it's something you don't want to do. Isn't that the truth? What did Captain Kirk always say? Going where no man has gone before, exploring space, going where no man has gone
Hmm.
before. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
yeah. So, yeah, we're definitely in uncharted waters. And so, let's see. You had mentioned that your parents were coming to visit, and we've got
Yes.
so
So
April
I know.
is, yeah. Tell me what was on your mind.
Well, no. The other question that I had for myself and also with the collective is that Mercury retrograde is on the 1st of
Yeah,
April.
yeah, till the 25th.
So, and then you had mentioned that there's a solar eclipse in April,
April the 8th, and it's
April
in
8th.
Aries. Oh, thank you, JK. You're too sweet. Um,
So,
so that's
again,
Monday, April the 8th. And I'm not sure what you would like to do. We can think about it, or you can let me know. Uh,
normally we would do it on Fridays, and I'm okay with doing that for now. But if
okay.
anything changes, I'll definitely let you know.
All right. Well, that would be April the 5th.
Oh, the day after?
No, it's the 8th. Oh, yeah, right. The day
Right,
after.
like, day after my parents come.
Right.
Uh,
Coming on a Thursday.
yeah,
So,
and then
I mean,
I think it'll be okay. I'll just tell them to get and go somewhere, and I gotta do my thing, and Yeah, we'll just shoot for the 5th, and if anything changes, I'll let you know. Because more than anything, they're going to be here and they're going to settle down and get relaxed, and I don't think it's going to get too crazy.
Well, we can always be flexible and you can let me know. I think that April will bring forward lots of new and exciting events on a personal level for people, on a global level for countries. Um, there is phenomenon happening in the solar system that we've never lived through or lived under. The
Hmm.
eclipse is in Aries, and Aries is the beginning, a new start. You know, it's the first sign of the zodiac. So, might be a lot of, it represents children. And that's the reminder notice of, it's never too late to have a happy second childhood. Your parents are coming. You know, it's only natural to be around our parents that our kid inside is
What I
activated.
like is my mama cooks for me and she cleans dishes, and I can relax just at least a couple more hours every day, which I don't have. Because I ain't gonna lie, cooking and cleaning is a second job, you know?
It is that.
You know, there, and I think that having them, and then after they come here on the 25th of April, that is when they're leaving for Korea.
Okay.
So they're going back.
So
Yeah.
there's several dates in April to be aware of. April 10th is a Mars Saturn conjunction in Pisces. So April 10th could be somewhat emotional. Um, the moon will be conjunct Uranus um, early that day. So that's two things on the 10th that is an interesting energy. It's volatile.
Okay, so there might be some arguments going on the
Might
10th.
be. And then I had noted for myself um, April 20th is a Saturday, and those are a couple of things. That is Jupiter holding hands with Uranus, um, and two oppositions to the moon, the first to Mars and then to Neptune. So April 20th is an interesting day with, and keep in mind when I give you these dates, I mean, we could get through that day and nothing significant happen, but leading up to it, and it's certainly afterwards, um, it's it's not a finite energy, right? So for some people, it might be, now. I mean, we could even start feeling pressure now, especially with this eclipse leading into another eclipse in 2 weeks. So things could be happening all along. And just because it's exact on a certain date, there's thousands of times when nothing at all will happen that date.
Hmm.
And
So be
it's,
flexible with
mhm,
the energy.
and not too paranoid.
Right, and
People
just
get
take it with a
paranoid
grain of
about,
salt
when
and
astrologers give them a date, like, you know, want to sit and
I
share
need a
a
day.
story.
Like what the heck? Like what what do you want me to tell you?
I know we want to be so precise, and certainly it's not a precise. Uh, maybe that's another lesson for all of us is not having to have control of everything.
Just really have faith like just go with the flow, and whatever is supposed to happen happens, will manifest.
Well, and it's a good time to get very detailed about what you want to manifest.
Hmm.
Another part of people saying, well, I pray and I do all of this manifestation and nothing happens. But
Well,
number
I
one,
mean, there is a thing where you have to put some effort into that manifestation, like how are you going to get there?
is it genuine? That's
Yeah.
the key point is it genuine? And details, like if there's a job you're looking for, what is that job? Make your list. What does it pay? What's your work environment? What's the work product you're doing? um, get really detailed about it. And then I don't think it works the same way with finding partners. I think you need to be more open with that part
Well, I
because
can share a story about how I manifested mine. So, as you know, my family, my mom and my dad, I was watching them go on these little vacations. They're old, they're traveling together. This was when they were in Korea. They went to a Jeju-do, which is an island off of Korea. And then they went to Okinawa. And I was thinking, I was like, you know what? I want to retire. I want to travel the world with someone significant. I don't want to just like keep living my life, keep working, and not have a special person in my life, whether or not that's like a twin flame or whoever. At this point, it did not matter. What I wanted was a travel buddy, a life partner, someone I could count on for, like in the old times. Growing up old with somebody, taking care of each other, being each other's support. That's what I wanted, because I see how important that was between my mom and my dad. That if they didn't have each other, then they would be miserable. And, I mean, they complain right now, but you know what? It works. Their life isn't perfect. And I was like, you know what? Hey, whatever. So at that moment, okay, I gave it one last shot. I contacted my twin. My twin did not answer me. And I was like, okay, that is my sign from the universe that I need to move on, right? And so I signed up on this app and I said, universe, I want I want to travel the world with somebody. That was the thought in my
that was a
head.
genuine feeling.
Was genuine, that was sincere, that is what I wanted. So I filled out all the questionnaires. I did like the whole psycho test or whatever they call it. And so I even paid 3 months subscription to this thing. This is the first time in a long time like I even went on a freaking app. But I kid you not. The very first person that I clicked on and I looked at this guy, I didn't look at him for his looks. It was just a feeling. I was like, because, apparently he liked me and I didn't know who he was. I was like, I really looked at his photograph and I was like, there's something, about this person. Like you said, like, it's just like a intuition. So
Hmm.
I said yes. And so since then, we hit it off. Like, we have like similar experiences. He lives in a different country. It's like wow, universe is funny. I
Yeah.
instead of like having a local person, I got to travel halfway across the world to get to. And so but it's been great because we video each
It's
other on a daily
companionship.
basis.
Hmm.
We're very open. We're very transparent. We tell each other, like, what's going on with our days. He always tells me good morning and good night and how much he loves me and everything that I would want in a guy. And
Your hearing just went off. You're hearing just fine.
Oh, can you hear me now?
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Now I can
So he
hear me.
went to a party
Now I
last.
can hear me.
You can hear you?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. So he went to a party last week and he checked in with me throughout the day to let me know how he was doing. So that just tells me that I didn't ask him, say, hey, can you check in with me, because you're going out to a party. He was always like giving me updates. Even his friends were drunk. He told me that, he's going to help them, he's going to drop them off, blah, blah. He's not going to drink. Well, he did drink like a drink or two, but it wasn't like enough. And then, yeah. And then we videoed each other when he came back home. And yeah, was very open, very transparent. And this
Something
is so
out
much
of
more
sync
than
with your. With your.
my voice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. um, but yeah. Hold
It's
on.
it's
Hello?
it's out of sync.
Hello?
It's out of.
Out of sync? Hmm. Hello?
Delayed. Delayed.
Delayed?
Yeah.
Uh, okay. Well, I don't know. Does anyone else hear a delay? But I'll just wrap this up. But anyways, the moral of the story is that um, I was able to find someone, and based off of the idea of wanting to find someone, in a relationship way. So yeah, it
Good deal.
works. Manifestation works. Like you
Guys.
just have to put your mind to it. Yeah. So, anyways, um,
I
my engine light just came on in the dashboard.
I pulled out these cards
Oh, go
for
ahead.
Libra. Cards for Libra.
Okay, I have something.
I'm afraid to talk too much because I think I'm reverbing back.
I'm reverbing back. Yeah, I'm not hearing any echo on my side. Just saying.
So these were in the New Age store
These
that I
were
worked
in the
in.
New Age store that I
These were
worked
the
in.
sample. Can you see where every card has a
Every card has a
hole in it? That's
hole in
kind
it.
of like what they used
Oh
as the
yeah,
like what they used as the
display.
display.
That's what they do with poker cards, right? When you go to Vegas and they just use it at the dealer table, and then they poke a hole through it once it's used.
I've never been to Vegas.
I've never been to Vegas. Never?
No, been to Reno.
What?
Reno.
I would think that you would have at least gone there because the Elvis, like hasn't he played there a few times?
So I am going to come
So
out
I am
of the
going to come out
studio and back in because I
studio
can
and
hear
back in
me
because
on
I can
you and
hear you.
you're delayed. So I'm going to come out and come back in.
I'm gonna come out and come back in. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. So yeah, earlier I saw JK. You said your engine light just came up on your dashboard. I just got my car serviced because I had the engine service light on my car, And basically, the guy said that I was like over 60,000 miles. So, yeah, I had the same issue.
Is this,
Hello?
is this,
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, see, now I hear myself.
yeah, and I hear myself on your end.
Huh, that's weird.
I don't know why that does that.
Hmm. Um, I can leave. Hold on.
We will get around to pulling some cards here. I hear it too, JK.
Well,
Hello?
did that fix the situation?
I think it did.
Okay, right on.
Right on.
And then as I said that, I hear Luna scratching the door. Oh no. Oh my
So we've
god.
got a Libra lunar eclipse. It'll look just like a regular full moon, but it'll be much more intense. Take notes. I would say keep notes.
Okay, so we are on Aries.
Aries.
Oh, here we go.
So Aries is Libra's opposite. And we have Mercury in Aries, the North Node, and the Sun. So we have a stellium in Aries, Mercury, North Node, the Sun. So that North Node, Mercury, is within about 7 degrees. And that is what can bring back people from the past, situations from the past. I've talked to a couple of people recently that are from my distant past. It's kind of weird feeling.
What was the weird part?
Well, just I was talking about the North Node in Aries, um, holding hands with Mercury in Aries. That can bring people and things from the past.
Hmm.
The messenger and North Node were fated kinds of people and destiny.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Just
Okay. Well, finally, Seven of Wands.
okay, and I have this card. It's nervous.
Oh, so that is kind of
Let's see here.
Aries would be feeling a little sketchy, twisty. I would say the word is twisty.
Hmm. Yeah, it says, hold on. My anxiety is worse than ever before. I'm constantly worried and insecure, nervous.
So, yeah, this is again anxiety might come from giving up people pleasing kind of energy or setting boundaries, can be argumentative. Oh, God, she's hyped up.
I know.
Luna, what are you doing? Are you being a good girl?
No, she's not. You can hear her like barking. I have a kitty, by the way.
Oh, how's that going?
Kitty doesn't give a F.
Yeah. So, what's the saying? Dogs live with you, cats allow you to live with them.
Hmm. Yeah. This cat has very mature for his age. He's 8 months. 9 months maybe now, but he seems like an 8-year-old cat.
Oh,
Very,
chill.
very, yeah, very super chill. Um, Hold on. Hi, sweetie. Oh, come here, baby. Hi,
So the opposite of Luna. Oh, pretty baby.
my baby. Yeah, Luna's jealous.
Yeah. What's her name?
Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah.
That's a very regal name.
Well, Thomas and Tom and Jerry.
Oh, right.
He looks like
Pretty.
Luna. Stop it.
Pretty
That's
colors.
Yeah. He's a Russian blue. He's
Very pretty.
But yeah, this is why Luna is acting. And this cat ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
Quiet. It's like having babies and stuff all over again. Like little kids fighting each other. Look, Thomas is not doing anything. Look at this.
Does Thomas play with Luna?
They fight.
Oh.
He will scrap. Look, he is not having it. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
very
Put,
stuck up and snobbish. Like,
yeah. Put her in her place.
yeah, but the moment that they interact and Luna is like showing like whatever, he'll go, like really quickly. Luna, shut. You know what? Come on, honey. Out. Anyways, I apologize for that.
You're fine.
Right.
So I think we said Aries is going to be a little bit like a cat in a room full of rocking chairs.
Yeah, you did say that. So, okay. So now we have Taurus. Let's see what Taurus is up
So we
to.
have Uranus, Jupiter, and Taurus. So that's the conjunction
Ooh.
coming up towards the 10th of April. Between like the 8th and the 10th of April, that's all. That's a whole lot of powerful exchange of energy in the atmosphere.
Yeah, because I see this.
Okay, for Taurus,
Mm-hmm.
Two of Swords. So that's, yeah.
I don't know if this can focus. Focus. I don't know.
So
Anyway,
this might, what does that say? There's a
there's a
burning
burning
rage
rage.
inside of me.
Yeah. Anger. Angry. Angry that is that a woman and a man?
It's a woman and an angel.
Oh, okay. An
It's like a
angel.
woman in distress surrounded by a guardian angel.
Mm. There's a burning rage inside of me. So maybe Taurus, you're angry that I don't know, you feel like you can't make up your mind or you're kind of stuck, right? Like a stuck energy.
Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus would make Taurians also feel an instability with their security, a sense of
Mm.
security, sort of a not feeling settled.
Yeah, because I sense that it just feels like a ugh, like energy like can't do anything. Feels like
And resting may be a good antidote for that,
yeah, you have a point there.
to let, divine energy surround you for healing and comfort, even if you don't see it physically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah,
Of
also what I'm
course,
saying is that like maybe if you've been working too much, and you're
yeah.
pushing yourself too much, you need to take a break, or you're gonna burn yourself out. So,
And Taurus is also ruled by Venus, just like Libra is.
hmm
So very Venetian kind of energy.
yeah, take a beauty nap. Or
Yeah, a salt bath.
it'll be okay. So, okay. So next we have Gemini.
So Mercury rules Gemini, with it in Aries slowing down to station retrograde. That could make delays more so than normal for Gemini.
Mm-hmm.
It could mean false or confused information. Six of Pentacles.
Yeah, and I have this card and it says inspired.
Okay.
Your light illuminates my mind and soul. Maybe this is to really uh, do something in the community. Hmm.
Sometimes Six of Pentacles is being a lender of money, maybe being approached to donate or do some kind of community project that helps inspire others. You know, inspire is in spirit. And Gemini typically has a hard time focusing too long. They get bored very easily. So this eclipse might give them a little more staying power.
Yeah, because it's something that's slowing their mind, their synapses down a little bit. Um, so that's a positive thing.
Yeah, could be two projects. Gemini is duality.
Hmm. Like take a step back. Maybe one is a gardening project and the other one is like a work situation. So,
What a nice thing, JK. She says, I am a believer. When I was 12, my aunt, who was visually impaired, would read my tea leaves, and I never questioned her ability to see. What a nice memory.
hmm, yeah, because like she's using her intuition.
Gemini rising.
You know,
I had a crazy aunt that used to perm my hair and teach me to strip tease when I was 4.
that's different. Like I don't know.
It's like JK had a good aunt. I had a crazy aunt. She'd bring peach schnapps and try to get my mom, her sister, drunk. My mother never drank, and her sister would come, and all hell would break out. She was a Virgo.
Oh, interesting. Hmm.
So for Cancer, I have Justice.
Hmm. Okay, I have two cards that came out. One is beauty. Your natural beauty takes my breath away and worried.
Oh,
I know, right? Worried. It feels like I'm carrying the weight of the world. Hmm.
hmm. I would say maybe Cancer's worried about aging.
Maybe. Yeah, because this is like the Libra moon, right? And
Yes, beautifying. What is he
mhm.
doing? Is he looming? Is that a loom?
Let me see. Yeah, it looks like making some sort of a carpet.
That's kind of neat.
Hmm.
Weaving, looming, making their tapestry.
Yeah, like making something. Um, but maybe you're worried that no matter like what Cancer does, they feel like it's not fair. So whether or not like they've worked on improving their beauty, their self-worth, they still feel like it's not enough. That's what I got off of that.
Well, and right now, the part of fortune is in Cancer. So
Mhm.
Cancerians could be being on an upswing financially. Part
Mhm.
of fortune is usually how we make money and how money comes into our life. So with it in Cancer right now, that would bring some coin to Cancerians and the
Okay.
opportunity as well. So what I was getting here too was maybe crafting beautiful decorum for their home, because Cancer is always about their home,
Mhm.
beauty and worry. Doing something that beautifies their home, and you know, how people will start like a cottage industry at home, making their item, and then it takes off and they do very well with it. So Cancer would have an opportunity here to put something that they make to make money for them.
I just started following like this cottage lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, she makes these videos and she makes soaps and stuff in her cottage home using basically botanicals that grow naturally
Right.
in the farm or whatever, like in wherever she lives. Um, yeah, that's what reminded me of that. Um, and it's all about living in like the country, like away from the city. Um, and it's a different type of lifestyle, to not live in like this, hustle and bustle type environment. It's very beautiful and natural. But she did mention that um, she had to take a step back because she got pregnant and her business was starting to boom. And then it became a real business. It wasn't something that she enjoyed. Um, and so
She
she
enjoyed
decided,
it as a hobby.
yeah, she enjoyed it as a hobby, but as soon as it came into like a lucrative business, she had to think about more business, like ways of managing it, and that's not what she was into because then it kind of changes the whole vibe of what
Right.
she was creating. So yeah. So maybe that's why Cancer, you're worried that, maybe you have to follow the status quo or the norm of, like doing that beautiful thing that you're doing, but I guess follow your gut. Like do what makes you feel um justified, not
Yeah.
justified towards other people, but for yourself. So
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes, when they say do what you love, the money will follow, but sometimes the money can take away from how much you enjoy the thing itself.
yeah, because then you're thinking about the whole like business side of things and not like how it first started, with passion.
The stress of fulfilling orders and things like shipping and handling and
Yeah, there's a lot, to doing a business like that. So a lot of people they don't understand until they go through the whole process and then it becomes a full-time job.
right.
So yeah. So now we have Leo.
So Leo would be trining the Mercury, Sun, and North Node, which is very positive. So a lot of that that brings forth a lot of opportunity for Leo.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have something kind of negative over here, but I'll wait till you pull something.
I am the King of Swords.
Rods. Oh, arrows. Is it an arrow?
Arrow, is that a rod? Yeah, I guess it is rods.
Yeah, because it looks more like a fire
Yeah.
energy. But I have broken, and it says, I don't know how to fix the pain in my heart.
Mm.
So like the King of Arrows is someone who's passionate. But maybe there is like this feeling um that you can't help. You feel broken.
Well, and when you do feel broken, you got to sit and allow that broken feeling. You can't pile on or ignore it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of how you heal your heart is sit with the feeling, whether it's good or bad, and transmute it.
Do you see how like this lollipop is broken? You do see like
Yes.
the thing on his rod, his arrow
Yes,
looks the same.
it does.
But it looks whole over there, so that's a good thing. so
Well, and
maybe
it's a very creative energy. So, you know,
Leo's going to figure out how to heal whatever
yeah,
that thing is.
or heal with creative energy.
Mhm. Mhm.
Adonis, Adonis was Cupid. Adonis. That,
That love, right? Like
yeah, it is. It's like the male version of Venus.
mhm.
So maybe it's about self love for Leo for the eclipse.
That actually sounds
I could go for that. I'm a Leo.
yeah. Yeah, I mean we all should, but yeah, I mean that makes sense. Okay.
We want to be careful not to affirm being broken in any kind of self talk, you know.
Yeah, but like you know, like you said, like if it's not your story, don't make it.
Right.
Um,
Or
yeah.
acknowledge it and move it on.
Yeah, just like yeah, don't hang on to, be fixated on things, but
Right.
be open to interpretation.
Don't be hard headed, Leo.
So next we have Virgo. Virgo is pretty like hard headed.
All right. Let's see.
Oh wow.
Triumph.
Wow, that's beautiful. This one says distance. So let's see here. You feel so far away, but look, they're hugging each other.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Maybe remote travel or remote astral travel or
Mm-hmm. So close, but so far away. And you were talking about relationships through distance, but it felt like you were close no matter what, right?
yeah.
Mm. So maybe that's similar to Virgo's energy. Dionysus. I mean, he's in like is that king of the underworld? I don't remember. I'm not very good with Greek gods.
The number 21.
Like the and Ariane is, or what does that say? Ari Ariane.
Mm-hmm. I would have to look that one up.
Hmm.
What's she holding behind her back?
It looks like a Cupid's bow.
Ah,
She didn't need to shoot it or she shot it. She shot the arrow, but she got what she wanted. I don't know. So there must be someone at a distance, but you will overcome the distance because the love is there, I feel.
Triumph.
Hmm. So I believe that's like the chariot, right?
Number 21.
Hmm.
I think so. It's also about balance within, like maybe, you know, assimilating the energy, the balance of energies within yourself. It's the chariot.
Yeah, so there has to be like some kind of balance before you can move forward. So, yeah.
And fast energy, that's also the chariot.
Hmm.
The yin and the yang. Yeah, I know this couple, Dionysus, I can't say it, but I know it's a love story.
Yeah, and
I
I
think
have to go back and
that's Greek, and I want to say the Roman version is Cupid and Venus, isn't it? Adonis. I don't know. I'm getting them confused.
Yeah, Adonis is like Cupid, right?
Well, let's just.
Let's just go look.
This is probably the simplest.
Huh. I type in Adonis and then I pull up Adonis male free gay porn community.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. In Greek mythology, Adonis was the mortal lover of the goddess Aphrodite and Persephone, who was famous for having achieved immortality. He was widely considered to be the ideal of male beauty in classical antiquity. The myth goes that Adonis was gored by a wild boar during a hunting trip and died in Aphrodite's arms as she wept. His blood mingled with her tears and became an anemone flower.
And Venus is the Greek version of Aphrodite. So Cupid is the Roman god of love, desire, and attraction, and the son of Venus. I'm trying to remember, what was it? Arion.
Yeah, here's a gardening thing. It says oh, where is it? Aphrodite declared the Adonia festival to commemorate his tragic death, which was celebrated by women every year in midsummer. During the festival, Greek women would plant gardens of Adonis, small pots containing fast growing plants, which they would set on top of their houses in the hot sun. The plants would sprout but soon wither to die. Then the women would mourn the death of Adonis, tearing their clothes and beating their breasts in public display of grief. The Greeks considered Adonis's cult to be of Near Eastern origin. Well, that is some piece of history that.
Right.
Wow. When the plants wither and die, they go out there and tear their clothes off. Sorry. I have to see something like that. I just.
This is weird. So, Arion in Greek gave Theseus a ball of thread of glittering jewels that enabled him to mark his path and thus to escape the labyrinth after killing the monster. Endings to the legend vary. One is Theseus abandons Arion and she hangs herself. In others, he carries her to Naxos, where she either dies or marries the god Denise. What? How are we saying
Dionysius.
Denise? Yeah. But who is she in Roman? Who is she in Roman? So let's say in Roman. So it's not telling me.
How do you how do you spell her name?
Ariadne.
Okay, and that was and we're looking for in Greek,
No, that is her name in Greek. I was looking for the equivalent
Roman.
in Roman.
Hmm. Okay, the daughter. Okay, in Greek mythology. Let's see. Um, her. I can read whatever it says so far. Um, Ariadne was a Cretan princess and the daughter of the king Minos of Crete. There are different variations of Ariane's myth, but she is known for helping Theseus escape the Minotaur and being abandoned by him on the island of Naxos. There, Dionysius saw Ariane sleeping, fell in love with her, and later married her. Um, Many Roman poets retold the Greek myth of Ariane. I don't think she has an equivalent. I think she's known by that name on both sides.
Yeah.
Equivalent is Libra. Oh, geez. Libera.
Yeah.
Or Ariana. Liberia. Libera. Is the
Right.
protagonist of the Korean reincarnation of Manha's sister. I don't know about that. I don't, yeah, but I see Roman name Libera.
Well, that's pretty apropos for tonight, isn't it?
Right.
So that was Virgo.
So Virgo got some drama going on. Just saying. So now we have Libra.
Many stories, many paths.
Yeah. There well, I mean, there is a three-part situation to that.
Yeah.
There was that one guy, he kind of left and she went with the other one, right?
Well, it said they don't know if she hung herself or married the guy.
Well, according to that one, is they got hooked up.
Yeah. I think mythology is so interesting because you just don't know how it's been interpreted over thousands of years. You know, the stories, I'm sure, changed. And
Are you both pulling cards? Ariandra? Yeah. Yes, we are. So for Libra, we have I want it all and I deserve it all. Greed.
I have three of wands.
Hmm. Okay, you want it all. So maybe this is about leaving someone behind and moving forward with someone new or having whoever that this person is that you're facing. But do you see your card? That guy is holding on to a stick, looking at the stick opposite from that person that's in front of him.
Well, I would say that they are having pretty serious conversation and might
Mm.
be something involved for Libra with the eclipse, um, legalities, legal situations, lawsuits.
Libra is like, um,
The
are you
judge.
staying or are you going? Because I need to
Yeah.
know. Um, yeah, you want it all.
That sounds like a nasty divorce.
Yeah, or whatever this. Yeah, it's definitely dealing with a third party situation. Um, and look, it might take a bit of money to get out of it. Maybe Libra's like, I don't care how much it takes. But that person is still holding on to something, whoever the other person is. That's a really tricky situation. All right, we have Tarot Destroyer again. Um, yeah,
Interesting.
yes.
So Libra, I think, might be going through some legalities of some sort. Could be inheritances.
Could be, but I don't know. Mm. Maybe it's from family.
Yeah, definitely money related, right?
Mm-hmm.
Love and money.
I know.
All right. This one jumped out for Scorpio. Six of Wands. That's a
Okay.
man on a mission, isn't it?
Yeah, but I have here unstable. And it says, I'm walking a thin line between being okay and being a complete mess.
I love it. Scorpio is the tortured soul, you know.
Yeah, riding on the high horse, but really, you're not feeling stable. So it's like kind of like putting on appearances, but deep down inside, there's something apparently there. Um,
It can also mean like some life chapter changing in that period, that gray period between the ending of one chapter and the beginning of another.
hmm Yeah, I just see that with your card, like that guy's in the forest.
Yeah.
Feeling like, yeah, you know what you're doing, but really, it's like, oh my God, where's the GPS signal?
Well, and the horse is white, which is good,
Mm-hmm.
moving in a good space.
Yeah. Um, so if you're feeling unstable, maybe you should just stay in a
Horseback
space.
riding.
Yeah. Horseback riding, maybe to find your balance.
Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. If you're feeling like that, maybe it's time to go outside, go for a walk to kind of because remember I talked about meditation earlier. Um.
So keep this in mind with Scorpio people. Sun,
Mhm.
moon, ascendant would be opposite the upcoming Jupiter Uranus conjunction. Oppositions are the chapters in our life. That is when we see and go through chapters. So Scorpios might be feeling a little unstable because of the impending changes, so that pressure feeling against the opposition of Jupiter Uranus.
I can say that. Yeah. Yeah. That sounds kind of close.
I would say, you know, so much of how a person's nervous system can feel can be by what we feed ourselves, or just simple things, staying hydrated, and um, back to the basics, back to what you know is the basics.
I've been eating a lot of beans lately, and the only thing I feel is expansion. Just saying. Anyway.
I'm trying to think. I have not had, I haven't really had a decent meal in a while. I just kind of been nibbling. I have been stuck on pineapple.
Pineapple?
I am stuck on pineapple. I eat it every day. And that's not something I've always had in my life, but I'm really liking pineapple.
Maybe your body needs the pineapple. That's why.
It's like bromamine, which
Yeah,
is
bromine.
um, throat and
It has
maybe
vitamin C. It's good for
I've really been getting some good stuff at the store. So this is the Eight of Pentacles, the apprentice for Sagittarius.
okay, and I have committed until death do us part isn't enough. Wow.
Wow.
Um
With
working
diamond,
hard on that relationship. You got to work harder. Uh, or maybe it's maybe working on I don't know. Until death do us part isn't enough. Is that committed, you think?
could be.
Because I see that guy working, like he is working and working and trying to
I know.
please whoever.
I'm
And
getting something like can't see the forest for the trees kind of energy.
yeah, just like so hyper focused on that thing, and it's like, what the hell is he doing?
Right.
Yeah. Um, maybe you need to slow down, Sag, and stop beating the hammer.
So Sag is ruled by Jupiter.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, um, again, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but the Jupiter Uranus conjunction in April, none of us are old enough to have ever lived through that to know what it is. There's some pretty historic events related to it from the past.
Mm.
Revolution, expansion. Revolution is the big one. Independence, freedom.
So this sounds
Maybe somebody's working really hard on their wedding.
saving up their coins to get to
Yeah,
the 10. Yeah, that could be a thing. Like maybe someone's really working hard, like trying to make that money, trying to get the house, trying to set that money aside so that they can put all their ducks in a row. Someone's really committed. It just takes some time. Yeah.
yeah. Focus, hyper focused on this.
Like I gotta get this pentacle.
Right. I got to get that savings account so I can buy my new car or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
can expand something in my life.
Yeah. I mean that's goals, right?
Yeah.
So
Cappy.
yeah, next we have Capricorn.
Capricorn's been through a lot the last couple of years. Pluto and Capricorn. So somewhat of a rebirth. And Pluto will back up into Capricorn. I think it's end of May or so before it moves direct, like in October, November for good. So
Mm-hmm.
we have not completely finished with Pluto and Capricorn.
Yay.
And that is all about authority, you know.
Well, I want to release the authority, as you know. I don't care about like I'm ready to be a subordinate any day now. Like,
Oh, we have Prince of Cups. That's nice.
okay, what's it, Tristan? Oh my god,
Oh, God.
people from the past coming back.
Right.
Look, I got stress. I'm
That's
under. What does it say? I'm under so much pressure.
that's funny.
Maybe you're stressed in expressing your love or um, giving
Work,
love.
Capricorn's the workaholic, so they're probably stressed out about their work.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, because that could be something that they love to do, something that they're passionate for.
What is he holding? Is that like a sack of something?
I don't know. I thought he looked pregnant. Like he's holding a baby and also like a cup at the same time.
I don't think it's a baby.
He looks pregnant.
It's like, I think it's just like he's holding a cup, and I think that white cloth is part of his cape. If you look at the shoulders, it's like a cape that's been draped around, and then he's like trying to tell you something with his hand out there. He's trying to be an authority. He's stressed out about something in authority.
Do you see that it's a crescent moon?
Yeah.
You know what? Me and my son, we were talking about Ramadan
Yeah.
recently, and basically it initiates on the crescent moon or something like that. And I guess with Ramadan, it's like you fast for the whole day, and then at one part of the day you eat your A off, like to your heart's
Right.
content.
Right.
And because I was telling him, I was like, I need to go on a diet, and he says, "Yeah, you need to practice Ramadan." He's like,
Oh
"You
my
should
gosh.
know about the moon cycles." I was like, "Come on." My son's being funny, but yeah,
That is funny.
yeah. Then he says, "You can't even drink water."
We need to keep our sense of humor during these days for sure.
Yeah. So maybe you're stressed. Um, I don't know. Holding on to too much stuff. Um, that's what I feel. So let go. If you're under pressure, then maybe this is about self-love. Like really take care of yourself. Don't stress yourself over it, you know.
Well, I tell you, Pluto and Capricorn has done a number for Capricorns for sure over the last couple of years.
Yeah, but I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm ready. I'm ready to like graduate from this Pluto energy. Like, yeah, I'm done.
I know what you mean.
Let's get ready for 2025. Like, what's
And
this year?
opposite my moon and Venus, it has been definitely emotional maturity for sure.
I think everybody's had like a little taste of,
Yeah.
how it's worked on them for the past few years. So, yeah. So next we have Aquarius.
Dawning of the age of Aquarius, and I have the Ten of Cups. It's
Oh,
nice.
beautiful.
New beginnings, having it
Oh,
all together.
and I have greed again.
Again, huh?
I want it all and I deserve it all. You want love, you want family, you want house on hill.
Right.
Hmm. I would say if you want it, like you said, do it with pure intention, right? Like do it um with
Authentic.
yeah, authenticity, Don't do it out of greed. And then you will manifest that the 10 of cups. I mean, if you already have it, don't overdo yourself. What is that white tree? Is that a cherry tree or
A Bradford pear. No, I'm kidding. It looks like a big cotton ball, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah. Hmm. Interesting. I want it all and I deserve it.
Completion.
Yeah, once you have it, don't be greedy. That's the thing, when people manifest riches and stuff and, they're holding on to their money too tightly, they become cheap because they don't want to lose whatever that they've earned.
Right.
The energy about money. or whatever this, love or whatever it is that's in your life, is to be flexible, act as if you always, are in abundance. Don't act like you're in lack, because then that's the vibration that's going to like kind of shift that vibration to for you to lose it. And that's like insecurity. So you always have to balance out your energy, you know. Also, this is, and I think that a lot of people they do that like once they achieve like the ultimate goal, how do they keep that? How do they, sustain that energy? And
I think a
sometimes,
lot of them don't.
yeah, most of them they lose it, right? But you know what? Easy come, easy go. But as long as you have like balance and you live a fulfilling life and like you say, like live in authenticity, then everything should be okay. So yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah, more independence and freedom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So last but not least, it's
Never least.
Pisces.
So we have a stellium in Pisces right now with Mars, Saturn, and Venus and Neptune. That's a lot.
Mm.
Mars, Saturn, Venus, and Neptune. That's seeing through rose colored lenses.
And look at this. I have transformed. I am not the same person anymore. Hmm. They're getting out of their fat body suit and getting ripped up into this hard body.
So, Princess of Arrows.
Okay. Thomas. Tom. Hold on.
Oh, this is Psyche. No, sir. Psyche was all about beauty.
Hmm.
That's funny. Your card is funny.
I know. So,
So, Pisces. Oh, Mars, Saturn, Venus, Neptune. Boy, that's trying not to get drunk on illusion.
yeah. Well, they're not the same person.
It's a little bit of a psycho energy there. It's
I know. It's like they totally changed. You know what I mean? Like, wow, where was that? Hiding the whole time.
that's funny.
My brother, he goes through this fluctuation from his fat body to his hard body. Um and he indulges a lot in food and drink. And but when he puts his mind to it, he will lose it. But he
Right,
he fluctuates. So that actually reminds me of him, you know. He's like, yeah, my dad bod.
right.
So,
Trying to remember. So, goddess of the soul in Greek and Roman mythology, princess of outstanding beauty who aroused Venus's jealousy and Cupid's love. So it was Cupid and Psyche. The wife of Eros was Greek. Cupid is Roman. And they had a daughter who they named Pleasure.
oh, interesting.
So Pisces, um, I actually got two cards for them, and the other one was the Four of Coins. So that
Okay.
could be a little melancholy, maybe.
Yeah, holding on to whatever.
It's probably good for Pisces to kind of take a chill pill with all those planets stacked up in their sign. That's a lot of
Energy.
yeah, it's a lot of push me, pull me, feeling, active with Mars, Venus, but then Saturn, Neptune kind of stalls you out. So it's probably a try to stay off the radar, Pisces, for another month or so as things move into Aries. I think Saturn will be in Pisces for a while. And, that's all about sort of holistic healing, maybe nature path and teaching, um, teaching about Earth's bounty and natural ways of, keep saying healing, spiritual healing, psychic surgery. Have you ever had psychic surgery?
Yeah,
That's
plenty
that's
of times.
it's kind of a weird experience, isn't it?
Yeah. Um, actually, like the girl that I went on live on Tuesday, we do psychic surgery, or we have in the past.
In
I was
person?
no through online. It was with a group of other hypnotherapists,
Yeah.
and we would do psychic surgery on each other.
We had a monk travel through here and take sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like, you were on a massage table and it was, and he did cupping. So it was very cathartic, purifying.
So I don't know how the monk did it, but through the group that I was in, it was kind of more of like hypnosis. So we would have to have like at least two people involved to do it. Actually, it's three. It's the facilitator, and then the person who is going under hypnosis, and then the higher self, which is like a spirit guide, or our higher selves that is transmitting that information back to us. So
Right.
like kind of like a triangle way of communicating and receiving information. But through that modality, we were able to clear energy or see things that we normally wouldn't see on people. And yeah, so we would clear like attachment, like etheric cords, like do cord cuttings and spirit attachments, ETs, um, anything that was like attached to the auric field, um, anything that was bothering it, like portals in the home,
Right.
like even like devices and things like that. We would clear that energy and yeah.
What's that Google product? Um, the computer people ask questions to in their home. Airy.
Oh, Siri. Oh, that's an Apple product, but
Yeah.
no, Google is like, hey Google.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In person, it's very much like Edgar Casey's work. It's hands on, and there's a physicality to actually pulling out like toxins.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting.
I know that there's an alternate way to do like a cord cutting process, and that's basically like going under like some sort of like a meditative state and um taking the thing and cord cutting like with a kyanite or black kyanite um gem,
Yeah.
and just start cutting away that energy. But again, you have to do it with two people. You can do it yourself, I guess, but it's better to have someone to really see where that energy is and cut it away from your body. So,
Well, that's all good. I think we have resolved a few of the world's problems tonight,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I'll be anxious to hear feedback from the group with what they're going through.
Yeah.
And
So, yeah, if anyone has like any questions for Sunny, go ahead and speak up. Yeah. And yeah, if you guys want to book a reading with Sunny, you can definitely check her out at lionmountainhealing.com. And she also has an Etsy shop. Let's see here. There you are at etsy.com/shop/Lion Mountain Relics. If you're interested in like, I guess what antiques or whatnot, she has like a wide variety of things there. So, yeah, go ahead and take a look. I bought some earrings from you uh,
yeah,
a while back. So, yeah.
you have anything going new in your Etsy shop for
Yes,
Easter?
I
Or
do actually. I have this new sage. It's a seven chakra sage. It's multicolored.
nice,
I used to have it before, but this is totally different. So that's new. And then I have a thing called black sage, which is new. I never carried black sage, but it's very similar to mugwort. Um, so yeah. So from what I know, that the different sages like black sage, white sage, and blue sage all have like different properties when you're burning the sage. So yeah, I definitely do have that. So.
all good stuff.
Hmm. So yeah, so let's see here. Let me go back to the comments. So nobody has any questions?
It's been kind of quiet here the last few minutes. I don't know if anyone's there.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, again, thank you, Sunny,
Thank
for
you.
joining us this evening. And I always appreciate your time and expertise in
And I,
astrology.
you.
Yes, yes. So,
Oh,
and then we'll meet up in the next couple of weeks.
yeah.
Um, and then that's going to be exciting because we're going to talk about the Mercury retrograde and solar eclipse energies. So,
Yes. And the big news for April is the Jupiter Uranus conjunction. And I've gone over some of the historic points in the past, but I will have them all compiled.
and ready for
Yeah.
next time. Okay.
It's about revolution and freedom, breaking the chains that bind. You'll see
Yeah.
things that you never thought you would see.
Well,
Long. Mhm.
that'll be interesting.
It will be. Put your seatbelt on. It's going to be
Yeah.
a ride. Be fun. It's all
Mhm.
good. We chose to be here at this time, so we're equipped. And you take care of your fur children and your boys.
Yes. Thank you, and you too. I
And
hope Mojo's is he getting better with his thing?
he did. It was some kind of skin allergy, and
Well, maybe he's allergic to what you were allergic to a while back. Because didn't you say you're allergic to pine?
well, I was going to say we've had pollen busting out, and it
Okay,
happened right about the that.
that time.
Yeah, but
Mm.
it's cleared up pretty quickly, and I just try to give him things to buck up his immune system, and he's going to make a trip to visit the old folks home this weekend. So
Well, there you go.
yeah,
Yeah,
my
that's actually a good
my little
idea.
therapy dog.
Yeah.
Ha ha. Not.
No, he's small enough,
Yeah, he
and I
is
don't think he's rowdy, right? He's not
right.
like
Yeah,
Leon.
it's too rowdy to take over there.
Yeah.
But
So,
my
yeah.
neighbor, whenever I would visit her with my dogs, her and Mojo had a little bond. So I
Okay.
haven't wanted to take him over there because I wanted to give him a bath, and then I thought I'm going to stop putting off taking him over there. I'll just go over there and not have a bath. Maybe have a bath when we get home. I don't know.
He'll
It's
be all
supposed
right.
to rain here all weekend, so
It's been raining here all day.
there's a
So, yeah, it's been kind of a sleepy
yeah.
weather type weather. So,
We had a really nice warming streak last weekend. It was beautiful, almost 80, clear skies. It was beautiful. And then all week it's been like in the 50s and down in the 30s at night. It's just
mhm.
like
Very
totally
similar to up here too. Like it wasn't 80s, but it was almost 70, which is pretty good
right,
for us.
right.
And that happened over the last weekend, and then like when the weekday started, it got in the 50s and
Cloudy. Yeah,
cloudy, dirty, whatever, and then rain.
I know. Well, we must be heading this way because it's supposed to be a complete rain out tomorrow, but it's all good. We need the water, so it's good.
Yeah.
This too will pass.
Yeah, I know.
All right, then. Well, I'm going to go take my dogs for a little walk, and I'm happy to meet Thomas, and
Mhm.
he'll keep Luna in her place, keep the princess in her place.
She is not as forthcoming when he's around.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's very interesting, the cat dog dynamic.
yeah,
I think it works, you know.
yeah.
It's different, but I
I'm glad
think
you got
it's
him.
so cute having a cat and a dog lay next to each other.
Yeah,
And it's just like, it's the weirdest thing for me. I don't know. Maybe it's because I never had a cat and a dog before, but
yeah.
it's very different, but I'm strangely liking it.
Good,
Yeah.
good. And he's laid back, so that helps.
Yeah, he's not entirely needy. He only needs me when he's hungry and he eats a
Yeah,
lot. So, he's a big kitty for 8 months. I don't think he's 8 months
yeah.
old. Yeah.
He's pretty.
Yeah, he is pretty. So, but he looks evil. He has like this demonic look to him, but yeah.
I will bless you with my presence. Look.
Yeah, very standoffish. Like, okay, dude. So, yeah.
Cool. All right, then. Well, I will see you very soon. And everybody take care. And thank you very much for your time and attention tonight. I hope everyone's gained some insight that'll help them.
Yes. All right. Well,
All
thank
right.
you.
All right. I'm signing out.
Okay.
See you
All right.
later. Bye
All right.
bye.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. Bye. Have a good weekend.